Hey, what's up, everybody? On the Upper West Side, I'm going to Bronx now for a ring install. I'm a authorized ring installer for New York City. So, going to get this installed on. You know what? It's better to warm this bike up, from what I can see, because last night the temperature dipped down to 29, and I noticed the KLR was like a hard start, like it was giving me a little trouble. Definitely didn't want to start. Not like horrible, but I mean, like it was cold. Like it took a little bit to get her running, and then finally got her up and running. Gotta close my shield. I couldn't take it no more. It's freaking cold today. But anyway, sorry about that. I got my balaclava on too. It's weird, but basically, I think the fuel injected bike would be a better bike. KLR, I would imagine it'd be a better bike, because the problem with the carbureted bike is it's just, you know, it is what it is, you know. Carbureted bike is definitely not up to par. As far as for cold weather, you want to have a, you definitely want to have a fuel injected bike, from what I can see. I've been using this KLR for years, but you know, every winter I get a little surprised when I go to start it. Summertime's fine, you know. If it hasn't been running in a while, you could just choke it a little bit. But in the cold weather, you gotta run this bike for a while. A good, I'd say a good 5 minutes of warm-up time. Otherwise, you're gonna have to be reaching. And also, I don't have the choke on the handlebars because I had problems, which I mentioned in previous videos. I don't know if anybody else had problems, but I leave this KLR outside exposed to the elements, so I did notice that my choke mount got fucked up. I mean, numerous times. It almost got me stranded somewhere. I was over in Koreatown. I couldn't get the bike to start because choke cable was just frozen up. It was cold too. So yeah, definitely want to get the. I definitely wanted the choke eliminator, you know, on the, put it right on the carb. It worked so much better for me. That was a way better setup for me. I mean, I'm able to start the bike every time with the choke on there, and I don't have any issues with the cable. There's no cable, it's just right on the carb. I mean, obviously throttle cables and stuff like that on the KLR are sealed up very well. I don't have any issues with that. But that choke, I had numerous issues. And actually on my old Gen 1 KLR, I nearly got, well, I did get stranded actually, but I was home, so I didn't get stranded outside. I couldn't go to my job because I went to go choke the bike, and the choke cable just tore from the cold. It must have got locked up. So I've had numerous incidents on different KLRs with choke. I don't know if anybody else has had that. Maybe I should have been maintaining the cable a little better. You know, like what I do on my throttle cables, I lube them every so often. People are being semi-courteous. Today, anyway. My heater grips are working. They broke the other. My heater grips actually broke yesterday, and I had to fix them late at night because I knew the temperature was going to be dipping. They broke when it was raining. It was like 45, so it wasn't too bad. What happened was the cable just got corroded, and I went ahead and fixed it all. I had to fix it at like 10 o'clock at night because I knew the next day the temperature was dropping. Couldn't take a chance. I don't understand people like some. You get like some of these messages on the YouTube site from people saying you're lane splitting. Well, they don't call it lane splitting because they don't even know, but they must be from other parts of the country that don't understand. But I get constant messages from people like your license should be suspended and all. I mean, I don't think these people understand that in New York City you can't drive a bike like as a car. Believe me, I've tried it. I keep repeating that, but man, if you're gonna drive a bike like a car here, why would you even drive? First of all, why would you even drive a motorcycle? Sort of like LA. Why would you drive a motorcycle in LA if you weren't gonna lane split? The traffic is so horrendous, and people are distracted because they're busy with work and things, and they're messing with their phones. They do get tickets more in LA for using their phone. Here it is non-existent. There's no enforcement at all. And basically, the other thing is, you got to protect yourself here. So you do what you got to do. I mean, I was on the GW Bridge, and I was lane splitting, and 2 trucks smashed into each other. If I had been sitting behind one of them, I would have been dead right now. But basically, if you're gonna ride a motorcycle like a car here, in LA you'd be somewhat protected. If someone hits you from behind because they were texting, they would actually find out if that person was texting. And if there was a confirmation of text, they would be charged with a crime, and there'd be some sort of civil case that you could probably win. Here, You would have to rely 100% on your video. I don't have a rear end facing camera because I can't put cameras all over this bike. People steal it, you know. This bike gets fucked with at night, you know. So I can't do that. The only thing I can do is take care of myself, because if someone rear ends you here on a motorcycle and the cops come, even if you had video, there'd be no case at all. They wouldn't even look at it. They would just write up a report of an accident. It's a no-fault city. They don't do anything at all. So maybe in LA you'd be able to make a report and they'd probably look into it. They'd probably help you out, which would help you in your civil case, you know, if someone rear-ended you. But basically, I lane split everywhere I go. I go to the front of the light because if there's rear-end collisions or distracted driver, I don't go anywhere. I don't stay anywhere near the back. And if there's a red light and I'm sitting at an exposed intersection, like coming off the Brooklyn Bridge, I'm gone. I blow the light safely. Anyway, I look to make sure there's no bicycles, no people crossing, no nothing, and then I go my way because I don't want to get rear-ended. Now, what kind of collisions can you have when you're lane splitting? Side swipe. You're gonna lay the bike down. I mean, it's sad. It's fucked up. Or it could be your fault, where you're not giving yourself enough brake timing or distance. That could be too. If you don't give yourself that buffer, I got two fingers on the brake all the time. And you have to know how to do rear braking too, because you have to do a combo braking, because if you start to lose the front wheel, now if you have anti-lock brakes, even better. I would say the new KLR would actually be really good for New York because of anti-lock brakes, because we get adverse weather here. It gets rainy, it gets cold, it gets a little slippery, and it'd be nice to have anti-lock brakes to protect you in the event of an emergency braking situation. Obviously, I mean, after years of riding, I got a feel for my bike. I know when it's going to slip. And if it's slipping, I'm applying rear brake. And if my rear brake is slipping, I'm applying more front. And I'm obviously downshifting. I'm running in a high gear. High RPM. Like I'm running actually 3,000 RPM at the minimum. And maybe more. Probably 4,000 RPM is what I'm normally running around. Which actually, on the highway, you're running 4,000 RPM and 55 miles an hour. So you figure I'm running around 4,000 RPM. That's pretty good. I mean, that means the bike's slowing down as soon as I lay off the throttle. As soon as I lay off the throttle a little bit, the thing's already slowing down. Man, after I fix these grips, they're super toasty. I have to turn them down. They're actually too warm. across Bronx. This thing's a mess. I'm heading over here like to I gotta go over to Bronx, way into Bronx for the service call. So this is gonna be a mess. Wow. I'm not getting rear-ended there. That's a prime example where you don't want to be waiting. That was the sun. I thought his blinker was on. It was just the sun glaring off of it. Nice spikes on his tires. Those truckers love that shit. They love putting spikes on their wheels. I don't think they do it for bikers. I think they just do it for cars that cut in on them and they just want to shred their car up.